Adobe Illustrator's paintbrush tool is fast and fluid. While it uses your initial stroke color to set its style, the paintbrush tool has a huge arsenal of tricks and additional customization possibilities available to it from within the brush's panel. For this video, I'm going to be making some new marks using the paintbrush tool. You can use a blank file, or if you want, you can open up the document called Paintbrush Tool, which is available in the details area of the video workshop. If you open up this file, then you have the same brushes available to you that I'm using right now. The paintbrush tool starts off quite simply. As I click and drag my cursor, the paintbrush tool lays a mark down exactly where my cursor goes. Initially, this mark looks not that much different than the lines created by the line tool and the pencil tool and most of Illustrator's shape tools. But there's a lot more going on. To see this, we're going to need to bring out the main brushes panel. I'm going to move it over here so it's a little closer to where we're working. And working with the selection of brush options here is going to drastically affect the mark that was laid down by the paintbrush tool. Before we dive deeper into the full options available to us in the brushes panel, I want to first double click on the paintbrush icon in the main tool panel and open up the full paintbrush tool preferences so you can set these to your liking as you continue to work. If you adjust the fidelity of the tolerance for the paintbrush tool all the way to the lowest settings and make another line, you'll notice that this line has lots of individual anchor points and picks up all the details in the stroke that we just made. If you open up the preferences again and bring the fidelity back up to 4 or 5, you'll see that it kind of smooths out the shape by spacing these anchor points further away. Additionally, the smoothness option allows you to over-smooth or smooth out the marks that you made if you feel like the marks you're making aren't smooth enough. One of the greatest features to the paintbrush tool is actually sweeping right here where most people haven't even found it. You keep selected and the edit selected paths option means you can actually work over the lines that you just laid down.
Yeah, I think I'm just waiting for 325.
I didn't change anything because this stroke was just created. If I draw over it, it'll actually change the line that I just made. Since the line's selected, because of the default tool preferences, if I stay within 12 pixels of the stroke, I can actually change and rework over the stroke I just made until I find it perfect. Now, let's take a look at the main brushes panel. Because my stroke is still selected, as I pick different brushes, you'll see that it'll apply that brush to the stroke that I just made. Some brushes will use Illustrator's current stroke color, so if I go to the stroke down and pick a different color, you'll see that the calligraphic brushes in the top row respond to the stroke color that I just changed. Below that, we have some scatter brushes. Scatter brushes take artwork that you specify and can scatter them over the stroke. Below that, we have a sample of art brushes. These are the brushes that most people use when they're trying to emulate real-world brushes. If I zoom in on this line, I can show you the detail that's now available to us because we're using custom brushes. You'll notice that 2 of these brushes are using the stroke color that we specified, while the 3rd isn't. This can all be changed if you double-click on any one of these brushes. You have a full suite of options where you can customize to a T any brush that you want. You can additionally paste your own artwork into these brushes and use your own artwork mapped over strokes that you lay down with the paintbrush tool. The last type of brush that I want to show you, it's going to be a little big, so let me zoom out here. Art brushes are super fun. This is one of the default brushes that will quickly turn any stroke into a banner. The last type of brush I want to focus on is the pattern brush, in which you can specify smaller blocks of vector artwork that Illustrator will use to tile together. The important thing for new users to understand is that the artwork is just following the stroke that we laid down. At any time within Illustrator, if you want to see the actual strokes that go into building your artwork, you can go up to the View menu, switch to Outline mode. There you see the initial stroke. If I go to the View menu and go back to Preview mode, you'll see the actual stroke with the custom brush applied. Switching between outline and preview is a great way to make sure that you're using the minimum amount of strokes and getting the maximum amount of artwork. The paintbrush tool in Illustrator can do just about anything imaginable. The more time you spend with the brushes panel, the more options will be in your arsenal. Adobe Illustrator